All right, well, this is could be the final game, guys. If WhiteRa wins this, he will be the champion of the TeamSpeak TL Open number 11. But TLO wins this, and we're going to take it all the way to the 5th and final game. It is Game 4 of the Liquid TLO versus WhiteRa matchup coming up next.
Link engaged.
All right. I'm so excited once again, Wolf. Why don't you go ahead and do the positions here? I'll catch my breath a little bit.
Alrighty. At the top right position, we have Team Liquid's TLO spawning as the purple Protoss, spawning as Protoss yet again for the second time as he's decided to use random here in the finals. Playing against, of course, WhiteRa, who is sponsored by Duckload, who's at the bottom position, also a Protoss player. So we are going to have a PvP at close positions, and I have to say, close positions PvP on Metalopolis is one of the scariest matches, matchups and positions to ever deal with. And I mean, Zerg versus Zerg is also one of those matchups that you don't want to deal with at these close positions. But I'd rather play Zerg versus Zerg than Protoss versus Protoss, a very unforgiving matchup. So we'll see what these two players' build orders are. Of course, WhiteRa isn't going to know until as soon as he gets up this ramp, which is fortunate for him because he's going to be able to scout very early what his opponent's race is. That it is going to be a PvP, and now he does know, and they're going to have to decide what their builders are. Of course, WhiteRa just now trying to decide, whereas TLO has had it planned from the beginning.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I'm not surprised to see WhiteRa with an early scout on this one. But another interesting fact is the one game that TLO took, it was a Protoss versus Protoss on Xel'Naga Caverns, where he used those Phoenixes very nicely in a rush from WhiteRa. So although WhiteRa knows exactly what he's up against now that TLO is Protoss here, just very curious to see where this could go. Will TLO be able to beat WhiteRa at his own race? Because I would think that spawning random and spawning as your opponent's race, you talk about it's a mirror match that's already tough enough, but also spawning against the race where your opponent is very intimate with that race, that could be a little scary. So gateways going down for both players right now. We'll see what comes out. Zealot out of both. Actually, the gateway is not quite done yet here for WhiteRa. There it is, and he's going to put down his Psycore, not even bring out his Zealot yet.
And, the interesting thing is, TLO has not started the Cybernetics Core at all. And, he pulls a second probe. Oh, he does start a Cybernetics Core. I thought maybe TLO was going to try to do this interesting rush that you can do, where if you stop your opponent from scouting, and you don't make that second gateway, you proxy 2 additional gateways closer to your opponent's base. I thought maybe that was what he had planned, but no, he's going to throw down that Cybernetics Core. Just wanted to get the probe out, so of course, WhiteRa is still a little bit unsure if that kind of rush is going to happen. He might be suspecting it because he sees that his opponent did really want to deny that scout, pulled a second probe to kill his scouting probe. But we will see TLO adding a second gateway right away, and WhiteRa doing the same. WhiteRa getting 2 Zealots first, though, just to be safe, because there is that possibility that his opponent could be proxying gateways.
Yeah, and you know what? I wonder if he's going to actually try to do some sort of a push here. I know that it's going to be so important to keep this probe out if he possibly can. Otherwise, sort of all that effort and work is going to be for naught. He's going to put down a pylon right there at the front door. Zealots are walking in as we speak. It's going to be a 1v2 with the Stalker about ready to come out. He's going to have to pull some probes, and he will trap one Zealot in there. Nicely done and good control by TLO. He will eliminate both these Zealots. Some good micro there. He's going to chase this one off, and he will manage to save one of them, putting all of his probes back on mining. But look at that pylon out here. Is it enough? Warp Gate is not done, so he is preparing for this rush early. It is still got about 20%, and I have a feeling he's going to be able to take out that pylon. No, I don't know.
It is very, very close at this point. WhiteRa did have that Stalker advantage, so he was able to force his way up here. Now he doesn't have vision for his pylon, so he's going to have to warp in units immediately when that Warp Gate research finishes. It looks like it's not going to be done in time, and he will probably lose his pylon. Going to be close, though. Warp Gate's just now finishing, and the pylon isn't going to go down. He's going to warp his units, but they are forced canceled by TLO's Stalkers, so nice defense there by TLO. Very close situation. So close.
Wow.
In fact, TLO only having 3 gates, and not that many units would have been rolled over if those units had finished on his ramp.
Yeah, now I'm
stayed alive rather.
I wonder if if WhiteRa is going to go ahead and know that this is the case and try to push here, or if he's going to go ahead and just hold off and let this go on to stage 2, if you will. Both players actively mining both gases. Just taking a quick look at the harvesters, we do see TLO ahead by a few, about 3 harvesters up right there. That's not too bad considering that he did lose a couple in that initial Zealot push, which I really did like from WhiteRa. Unfortunately, his timing was almost a little bit ahead of himself. Twilight Council going down now for TLO, while his opponent will continue to just... Nope, there's the Robo for WhiteRa. So 4-gate Robo here off of 1 base, and Probe will go up. Not sure what Probe saw, but WhiteRa definitely taking a more defensive posture now.
The question is, did that Probe see the robotics? Of course, he did have vision of it, but what he might be wondering is, well, is that a robotics? Unless he clicked on it immediately, he's not really going to know.
Right.
All Protoss warping and your structures look the same. Now, he does have Blink. What he definitely did see, though, is that 1 pylon is powering all of those structures. So if he gets Blink and blinks up there and focuses down that pylon, that could be absolutely huge.
Good point. You know what else I like? I see as Blink is getting started here for TLO, Hallucination is about to finish. Now, there is only 1 sentry out here, and Hallucination can be used in lots of different ways. He could go ahead and hallucinate a Phoenix, as he'll do right now, and use that to scout. But I also like to see Hallucination in other scenarios where, you bust out a Colossus, make your opponent think that's the tech you've got, and he is going to run over and he will see everything. However, that observer did see Hallucination come. Pylon being made, and Duckload may go for another assault.
This is going to be kind of tough to hold off. He only has 1 sentry, and the sentry doesn't have enough energy to force field it. Just barely going to have enough for 1 force field when this attack happens, because he did use that Hallucination. But there's an observer here as well, which is going to give a lot of vision to WhiteRa, and WhiteRa doing a ton of damage here. Get some Zealots in there, and that's huge as well. Trying to shoot some probes down at the side. That's a really nice choice because he can't really hit those stalkers. He's just going to sacrifice those Zealots to kill as many probes as he can. He might want to back up here, though. His opponent has too many stalkers. And TLO, remember, has Blink as well, so he could use that to his advantage as he starts blinking some of the weakest stalkers back now. And TLO will win this fight, no problem. WhiteRa may be overextending himself a little bit here.
Yeah, he is. I mean, pretty much you're banking on your opponent to mess up their Blink micro, and that was very, very well done by TLO. He actually started out with a lesser stalker count and has now pretty much picked it up. Nice Blink down as he decides to make a full-on attack, and he will quickly dispatch these stalkers. They are being warped in near the bottom of his expansion, but again, he's having no problem with the great micro, keeping the dead units or the very, very low units in the back, and there is only a single stalker left, and TLO might be able to hold on and force this to a 5th and final game.
I think he will. He's actually going to try to counterattack a little bit here. I don't think he's going to try to force his way up the ramp, but he's going to poke a little bit. And this is huge. And basically what ended up happening there was WhiteRa just thought, I don't know what he was thinking. He got the observer out, and that gave him vision of the high ground. Maybe he just thought he would have enough units to just break it. But here we go. TLO going to break his way in. And some probes coming off to defend, but with Blink, I don't think WhiteRa is really going to be able to stop this attack. And that 1 pylon is powering a lot of those structures. There was a 2nd pylon added a little bit closer. The Immortal is crucial here. Immortals are exactly what you want to have against Blink Stalkers, but there are too many Blink Stalkers. Last Stalker for WhiteRa goes down. Zealot's trying to be warped in, but I think we're going to have a 5th game. GG.
Awesome. Awesome. That's actually really exciting. And you know what? It's crazy to think that the 2 times that TLO has played Protoss against his Protoss adversary, he has taken down both of those games. So it's almost like okay, I'm going to cross my fingers and hope to get Protoss one more time. But TLO's Protoss, we talk about, man, TLO's Terran strats, they're baller. Have you seen him play Zerg? Crazy. I got to say, I've been most impressed with TLO playing Protoss today.
Yeah, definitely, and TLO used to, he said that his Protoss was pretty bad in the past. He said that. It's made him feel a little bit uncomfortable about playing random, and I think when he played in the HDH Invitational so long ago, one of the biggest tournaments that really got Starcraft 2 scene started, I believe he lost to WhiteRa in a lot of PvP games, so we can see that his understanding of this matchup has changed significantly. So I'm really excited to see that he can pull it off, and more so, I'm really excited to see that we have a 5th game.